Inflation, understanding its causes, effects, and how to manage it. Inflation is a term used to describe the sustained increase in the prices of goods and services over a period of time. It is a measure of the rate at which the purchasing power of money is decreasing. Inflation is a common phenomenon in the economy, and it affects individuals, businesses, and governments. In this essay, we will explore the causes and effects of inflation and how it can be managed. The causes of inflation. Inflation can be caused by several factors. One of the primary causes is an increase in demand for goods and services, which leads to a rise in prices. This is known as demand-pull inflation. When people have more money to spend, they tend to buy more goods and services, which drives up demand. If the supply of goods and services cannot keep up with the demand, prices will rise. Another cause of inflation is cost-push inflation. This occurs when the cost of producing goods and services increases, and producers pass the cost on to consumers. This could be due to an increase in the cost of raw materials, labor, or energy. Inflation can also be caused by an increase in the money supply. This is known as monetary inflation. When the central bank prints more money, it increases the money supply in the economy. This leads to an increase in demand for goods and services, which drives up prices. The effects of inflation. Inflation can have both positive and negative effects on the economy. In the short term, moderate inflation can stimulate economic growth by encouraging spending and investment. It can also help reduce the burden of debt for borrowers. However, high inflation can have several negative effects. It reduces the purchasing power of money, which means that people can buy fewer goods and services with the same amount of money. This can lead to a decrease in consumer confidence and spending, which can slow down economic growth. Inflation can also hurt those on fixed incomes, such as retirees, who may struggle to keep up with the rising cost of living. Managing inflation. Central banks are responsible for managing inflation. They use various tools, such as adjusting interest rates and manipulating the money supply, to keep inflation under control. When inflation is too high, the central bank may raise interest rates to reduce the demand for goods and services, which can lower prices. Alternatively, the central bank may reduce the money supply by selling government bonds, or increasing the reserve requirements for banks. Governments can also use fiscal policy to manage inflation. This involves adjusting government spending and taxation to influence the level of economic activity. For example, the government can reduce spending or increase taxes to reduce the amount of money in circulation, which can help reduce inflation. Conclusion. Inflation is a complex phenomenon that affects the economy in various ways. It can be caused by several factors, including an increase in demand, rising production costs, and an increase in the money supply. While moderate inflation can be beneficial for the economy, high inflation can have several negative effects. Central banks and governments have a crucial role to play in managing inflation by using various tools and policies. Understanding the causes and effects of inflation is essential for individuals, businesses, and policymakers to make informed decisions and manage its impact on the economy.